Okay, so today we're going to review Brandon Lilly's Cube Method training program. Now, this is a really good program. I'm happy to do this review. I like this program. I have run it in the past, and I did have some good success with it. Nothing too braggy. I can't really oversell it, but I did add to my PRs, and I didn't use this program preparing for a meet. I did it off season and it was a PR in the gym, but I really like this program. So a little bit of history about this program. Brandon Lilly is probably one of the best raw and equipped powerlifters out there. Unfortunately, you won't see much of him anymore because he did have a career-ending injury. That means he is no longer able to do heavy weight training or powerlifting of any sort. And if you check out his Instagram, most of it is just him hunting deer and other animals. But that doesn't diminish the incredible design of this program or diminish him as a powerlifter. It just means he no longer does it. But he achieved some amazing totals over 1,000 pounds on multiple occasions, and he had some fantastic PBs, personal best lifts. So definitely a great lifter. And the inspiration for this program actually came because Brandon trained at Westside Barbell. Now, Westside Barbell, Louis Simmons, they're all into your bands, your chains, your geared lifting with your wraps, your suits, using specialist bars. And he kind of got to the point where he was like, you know what, I want to do a program that's just going back to basics, old school style of training, taking out all this shit and just doing basic style training. And that was the influence for this program. So let's talk a little bit about this program. So this program is split into 3 waves. So you got wave 1, 2, and 3. It is a 9-week program, and then on week 10, it's either meet week, or alternatively, if it's off-season training, you set your new PR in the gym. Okay, so each week it lasts a total of each wave lasts 3 weeks. First thing you must do is put in your 1 rep maxes up here, and this program works off your training max, which is 95% of your 1 rep max. You do not need to put that in here. It will automatically do it when you put your max in here. So that's something we must talk about first. It uses a training max, not the Jim Wendler style where you do 90% of your 1 rep max. This is 95. So the program has 3 training methods. You've got your heavy training, your explosive, and your repetition. So your heavy training it starts at 80% and it finishes at 95% of your 1 rep max. And here you're doing less volume, lower reps per set, but you're focusing on intensity, the percentage of your 1 rep max, and you're training close to max effort. And then on the final wave, you are actually training at max effort. And then you got your explosive day, which would be kind of considered your dynamic effort day if you're doing Westside, where you're focusing on sort of force production, making sure every lift, every rep is explosive and speedy, and you're doing 8 sets of 3, 6 sets of 3. You're doing these sort of heavy, these sort of lower volumes, but you're only doing 65%. And then on the final wave, you're doing just 70% of your 1 rep max. So the intensity is reduced and the focus is now on being explosive. You're doing less reps per set, so that allows you to focus more on making sure each rep is explosive rather than doing, let's say, 5 sets of 5 or 4 sets of 6. You're doing 8 sets of 3, 6 sets of 2, and 5 sets of 2. And then you've got your repetition day, which would be your bodybuilding day, where you're doing hypertrophy style training. You're doing 70 to 80% of your 1 rep max for 1 set of 8 or 1 set of 6. We'll talk about that more later. So that's what it's like. Now, each wave, week 1 is 3 weeks in length, as I said. And basically, you can see down here from this table, which I've made, you can see that you do a heavy explosive repetition. You have to do in each wave, for all 3 lifts, a heavy workout, an explosive workout, and a repetition workout. And once you finish that, then you move on to the next wave. So you can see here, week 1, we squat heavy, we do bench explosive, we do deadlift repetition. Week 2, we do explosive squats, we do repetition on the bench, and we do heavy deadlift. Week 3, we do repetition, heavy, and explosive. And that stays the same for wave 1, 2, and 3. That doesn't change. Okay, and we can see up here the percentages. I've done a table. just outlining the percentages. You can see for the heavy in wave 1, we do 5 sets to 80%. We add 5% to our intensity. We do 3 sets to, so we reduce the base volume, we reduce the number of reps per set, reduce the number of sets. And on the final week, we do 3 heavy singles at max effort, 90, 92, 95%. Okay, and that's how we go with that. From heavy stuff, our explosive, we start with 8 sets of 3. We do 60% of our 1 rep max. We add 5% for the next session. We reduce the number of reps that we base the base volume and the number of reps per set and the number of sets. And then we add 5%, I don't know why that's an at symbol there. We do 5% on the final week and we do 5 sets of 2. So it follows that sort of logical progression that as you increase the intensity, you reduce the base volume. And then for the repetition work, we do wave 1, we do 1 set of 8, 70%. And then wave 2 and 3, we do 80% for 1 set of 6. You can see here, this is the total number of reps you do. I've done here the total reps for all 3 lifts per week. As you can see, week 1, we've got that high volume training week. Week 2, the volume goes down. Week 3, it's quite significantly reduced to 57 reps. So each week, as the intensity goes up, the number of reps that you do, overall reps that you do, is reduced. So quite common, basic, simple style of training. No fancy stuff here. Nothing fancy going on at all. It's really simple, back to basic stuff. So that's the logic of the program. And you can see right here, this is my spreadsheet I designed here. You can see I've outlined the percentages, the rep schemes, the effort style, and the exercises. So you have an overview, you know what you're going to do. And this is the actual spreadsheet where you can actually see the weight that you should be doing. And you can just follow this. Now, let's bring up a few things. First thing I must talk about is that people ask me, what should I do for accessory exercises or assistance exercises, hypertrophy stuff or variation lifts. So if you want to do front squats or maybe deficit deadlifts or maybe close grip bench press, should I do it? When should I do it? How many reps should I do at percentages, etc., etc. Now, my first thing is check out on my website link where I've done a blog about this. You can actually download the Brandon Lilly book on the Cube Method. Now, that's probably your best bet there because that's going to have the accurate information. At the end of the day, he's the guy who made the program, not me. So he can give you the most information about this program. But if it was me, I would focus more on the main lifts because that's what this program is built on. And if you want to do some accessory exercises, you might want to do that. Focus just on maybe hypertrophy stuff. So maybe 3 sets of 15, 4 sets of 12. For some face pulls, some lat pull downs for the back. For the chest, you might want to do some dumbbell flies. You might want to do some close grip, some sort of, what else can you do? Dumbbell pullovers. Stuff like that. And then for the leg exercises, you might want to do leg extensions, leg curls, calf raises, leg press, for example. And then for the shoulder exercises, you might want to do your side laterals, your rear delt flies, your front raises, your Arnold press. That's what you should really maybe add to it. But in terms of doing things like front squats, sort of main compound exercises like front squats, deficit deadlifts, overhead pressing, probably not a good idea to include that in this program because you are doing quite high volume, you're doing relatively high frequency, but if you really want to include some extra accessory exercises, what I'd call your tier 2 exercises, your front squats, your overhead presses, your deficit deadlifts, your rack pulls, stuff like that, then you want to keep it really low intensity. You don't want it to be creating any sort of fatigue that will affect your main lifts. So you might want to do sort of in the sort of 30 to 50% intensity range, and you want to keep your reps maybe 3 sets of 8, 3 sets of 6, 3 sets of 5. So not high volume, not high intensity. That would be just to maybe work on a sticking point. So if you feel like you've got a weak lockout on your bench, you might want to do some close grip training to strengthen your triceps. If you feel like maybe for the squat you've got weak quads, you're not locking out properly, you might want to do some front squats. For the deadlift, if you feel like you're slow off the floor, again, you might want to do some trap bar, some front squats. You might want to do some Romanian deadlifts, stiff leg deadlifts, stuff like that. So those are some examples of what you can do. But really, the first time that you run this program, you want to really just keep to the actual program and not wander too far from the actual template spreadsheet. The second time you run it, by all means you can maybe play around with it, add some more exercises in, but probably for the first time you want to keep it simple. So there was one thing that I don't like about this program. Repetition day. Yes, I spelled repetition wrong. I will change that. Sorry. You can see here that we're doing 1 set of 8, 1 set of 6. Now that's not repetition, right? That's just one set for 6 to 8 reps. That's not enough really to call this a rep day. So what I did when I ran this program is I changed this to 3 sets of 8 at 60%, 65%. In wave 1, and then wave 2 and wave 3 I did 3 sets of 8, and then I did 3 sets of 6 from I did not do 80%, I did 70 to 75%, but normally 70 to 72%. So I actually increased the volume, the base volume for this, because I didn't feel like that was really enough to create strength adaptation, nor add any sort of muscle mass or create any sort of hypertrophy. So 3 sets of 8 and 3 sets of 6. I reduced this to 65 to 60 to 65, and I reduced this from 70 to 72%. So that's my advice. You can take it or leave it, up to you. All in all, great program. Highly recommend it. If you enjoyed this, please check out my website. You can download the spreadsheet from my website directly. Any donations would be, I do have the option to donate on my website. In the description box below, I've got a few channels that you can click on and just donate a small fee. I do all of this out of my own pocket in my own time. I do it not for money. I do it because I love helping people. I love offering advice and giving assistance to people, especially new novice lifters and intermediate lifters who are new to powerlifting. I like to help them. I like to try and give them some advice, because I didn't have that when I started. So it's great it's a great feeling to know that I can help people, because I didn't get that when I started. So if you feel like donating, a small sum of money just to help me cover the costs of things, that would be much appreciated, and obviously it goes a long way here. So thank you in advance if you do feel like doing that. If not, it's okay. Just make sure that you enjoy the program, you do it properly, take my advice, keep lifting, good luck with the program, stay strong, and never give up on your training goals. Thank you for watching this video.